Every single second of your life, your brain is making 3 rapid-fire decisions. Most of the time, you don't even realize it's happening. If you make these choices unconsciously, you repeat the same patterns, and usually the same mistakes. To see how these internal decisions actually wire a life, we have to look at a Thanksgiving dinner, where the main course was saltine crackers and peanut butter. It's an 11-year-old boy whose family was always poor, surviving in a house where the money and the food had finally run out. The financial stress turned the house into a pressure cooker. His parents were shouting things at each other that can never be taken back. With a brother 5 years younger and a sister 7 years younger, the 11-year-old was trying to play the parent, shielding them from the volatile environment. And then, right in the middle of the shouting, there's a massive bang on the door. The boy opens it, and standing on the porch is a giant of a man holding huge bags of groceries, with a massive, uncooked turkey sitting in a pot by his feet. He just looks down and asks, "Is your father here?" For a kid living on crackers, this looked like the ultimate solution. He rushed back to his parents, overflowing with a little boy's raw excitement, certain that this gift was going to stop the fighting and fix everything. But when he brought his father to the door, the reaction wasn't relief. The father's face twisted into an immediate defensive anger. He glared at the man, snapped, "We don't accept charity," and shoved the heavy door forward. But before it could latch, the delivery man threw his foot into the frame, stopping it dead. The man leaned in, the door bouncing off his shoulder. He calmly explained that he was just a delivery guy. He told the father that people knew the family was having a tough time, and they just wanted them to have a great Thanksgiving. The father tried to slam the door a second time. Again, it bounced open. The delivery man looked the father dead in the eye and delivered a blunt challenge. "Sir, don't make your family suffer because of your ego." The veins on the side of the father's neck pulsed against the skin. His face flushed bright red, standing on the edge of physical violence. Then his shoulders dropped in a look of total defeat. He snatched the groceries, dropped them on the floor, ignored the turkey, and slammed the door without saying thank you. He spent the rest of the day muttering about his failure as a provider. Shortly after that Thanksgiving, he abandoned the family entirely. That encounter shattered a family because of how those 3 internal decisions were made. In that split second at the doorway, the boy and the father were looking at the exact same scene, but their brains were performing 2 different calculations. This starts with decision 1, focus. Out of the millions of things happening, your brain must filter the world down to a single focal point. At the door, their focus is split. The boy on the food, the father on his failure. Next, you assign a meaning. To the boy, food meant salvation. To the father, worthlessness. Meaning creates emotion, determining the quality of your life. You could have $1 billion, but if your internal interpretation of every day is pissed off and angry, then the quality of your life is pissed off and angry. Your experience is a product of these interpretations. The internal state leads to the final step, decision 3, action. Because the father interpreted the help as a sign of his own worthlessness, he felt humiliated. That deep humiliation dictated his actions. He was highly aggressive to the stranger, and eventually he left his family. If he had decided that the groceries meant he was loved or supported, his emotional reaction would have been different. He would have made the decision to be grateful or generous instead of angry. The emotional state you live in acts as a boundary for the decisions you can make. If you are operating from anger, your brain is physically and psychologically locked out of making playful or generous choices. Focus, meaning, and action. These 3 automated gears determine how we process the facts of our lives, acting as the true architects of our daily experience. Your mental resources naturally flow toward whatever you choose to focus on. If you fixate on what is missing or what is wrong, you empower those things to dominate your perspective. In any daily scenario, there are reasons to be upset. You can always find a reason to be offended by a coworker or frustrated by a delay. Those inputs are always available. But the same logic applies to the things that are going right. Reasons to be joyous or grateful exist in the exact same moment. They simply require a deliberate shift in focus. This is a system of psychological intelligence. It is a method for managing the mind's machinery so that your reactions are a choice rather than a reflex. This requires a practice of disciplining your disappointments. It means learning to contain a negative interpretation before it has the chance to grow into a destructive action. When you take control of your focus and the meaning you give to events, you stop being a passenger to your circumstances. You begin to use whatever life has given you to build a different emotional reality.